Hello and welcome to Tony Robbins Become Unshakable Challenge, Day 3, the best takeaways. My name is Emily Joan Smith. If you do not know me, I am a life coach and a YouTuber. I make videos on self-development, personal growth, travel, all things like that. So if you do enjoy those things, please press the subscribe now. It means a lot to me, and join the community. Why not? Day 3 of Tony Robbins Become Unshakable Challenge was all about finances and career. If you have not seen day 1 and 2, definitely check those videos out after this. You don't necessarily need to see it before this, but if you want to, go ahead. Tony Robbins started off by saying, if your brain feels pleasure by something, you will be attracted to it. If your brain only feels pain towards something, you will run away from it. The major problem is when your brain feels pleasure and negativity towards something. Like for most people, money. Most people want money, want financial freedom, want to have success in their business, but money mindset is linked to a lot of their problems. For example, if I earn money, people won't like me. If I earn money, it means I care less about people, and all those sort of thoughts and negative beliefs that we have built up along the years. In our culture, there is so many mixed signals about money. Tony Robbins spoke about his mentor, Jim Rohn again. Jim Rohn asked Tony, if you can live more abundantly, should you? If you could do more with your life, should you? If you could give more, should you? The answer is always yes. Jim also asked him, if you can make more money, should you? That's where Tony got a bit hesitant because of his beliefs towards money when he was younger. But the answer is always yes, even with the money question. If you can make more money, should you? Yes. Jim Rohn told Tony that we are all equal as human beings, but we are not all equal in the marketplace. People who are successful in business are the people who give the most value. Tony is constantly saying that business is a spiritual game. It's about giving more value than anyone else does in your marketplace. And the way to give more is you have to become more skillful and you have to become more valuable. And the way to do that is invest in yourself. The best investment is the investment that you put into yourself. The reason that business is a spiritual game, he says, is because in any sort of spiritual practice, whatever you believe in, there is usually a phrase along the lines of treat others as you would treat thyself, or do unto others what you do unto yourself. Now, Tony has been doing this challenge for a couple of years now, and I have done videos like this on his previous challenges, so please go check those out as well because there's loads of valuable content there. But his next speaker has always been one of my favorites. In fact, the 2 speakers that he had today are always my favorite. The first person is Sara Blakely. She is the founder of Spanx. And the interview that she has with Tony is like ingrained on my brain because I love it so much. Sara spoke about a time in her life where she had been doing sales for like 7 years, door-to-door sales, trying to sell door-to-door. And one day she had just had enough. She took her car to the side of the road and she said, like, I am in the wrong movie. This is the wrong script. This is the wrong director. This is not my movie. Take me out of it, cut it, give me a new one. This is not my life. I am meant for something more. And in her car, she said to the universe, she said to whatever she believed in, please give me an idea. If you give me an idea, I will not pass it by. I will run with it. I will not give up with it. I will give it my all. It took 2 years, but then she came up with Spanx. And her story with Spanx is an incredible one. A story of making friendship with failure, a story of always going the extra mile, a story of one of my favorite things. If you don't know how to do something, it's usually a good thing because it means you do it differently. Sara said her life as an entrepreneur as this person that she is today really started when she was 16. It was a usual average day, and she was biking with one of her friends at 16, and she saw her friend hit by a car and killed in front of her at 16. And she realized that, like, one day you can just be gossiping with your friend about school, about the future, and the next day you can just be gone. She created this relationship with death that was not fearful of death, but actually realizing that our time here is so short. It's so little and anything can happen. It's not something to fear, but it's something to take by the balls and run with it, because you're only here once. You don't get a rerun. The second thing to change her at 16 was when her parents got divorced. Her dad gave her some cassette tapes. They were by Wayne Dyer on how to be a no-limit person. She listened to them so much that she could recite them backwards. The thing that was so important about these cassette tapes is she learned through her 16 years, she was taught what to think at school, what to think, not how to think. That you could have a situation in your life and you get to decide how you think about it. Whether you think in a way that helps you, that moves you forward, that is better for you, or you can think in another way. Listening to Sara Blakely really made me realize that her life leading up to Spanx really shaped her for that business. Every single thing she did. So for example, sales. The number one thing she learned in sales was, what's in it for them? It's not, hi, I have this thing I have to sell you. It's, hi, I have this thing that can change your life, and if you use it, it will do this for you and that for you, and this is why you need it. What does it do for them? This came in so useful when it came to Spanx, when the idea of Spanx came to her. She told us the whole story of the idea and how she got it into store. And her story, in short, as a short summary, was she knew from cold calls that she had to speak to someone, she shouldn't leave a message. She knew that she had to present this product in person. She knew that when she was in person showing this product, she knew from the body language that the person wasn't buying what she had, that the person wasn't, it was a no kind of energy. So she turned the interview around and she was like, hold on, can you just come to the bathroom with me? And she showed her the person she was interviewing, the person she was talking to or being interviewed by, the Spanx on and off, and what a difference it made. Because she knew that from all her sales in her previous life, she knew how to sell this product and why it was so beneficial to women. She then got Spanx into stores. And the funny thing is, someone from the same industry came up to her and was like, how the hell did you get your product into stores? Like, I've been waiting for ages. Like, I've been going to these fairs, I've been going to these trade shows for like 6 years. Usually people have to do it for 6 years, and then the shop comes around and they're like, oh, we'll maybe try your product. Sara was like, I've never even heard of trade shows. I just rang her. I just rang them up. Because she didn't know how to do it, she found a different way. Sometimes we don't have to do it the traditional way. Sometimes not knowing how to do what we want to do is better because we do it differently. She did it differently. One thing I also loved about this interview is something she told us about her father. Her father, at the end of every week, would sit the family down and say, what did you fail at? What did you fail at? And he would actually be disappointed if she hadn't failed at anything that week. So for example, she remembers one time like coming in like, oh, I tried this cheerleading or something and I sucked at it. And he was like, well done, high five. Her dad changed her relationship with the fear of failure because it wasn't about the outcome. It wasn't about the failing. It was about the effort of doing it, of trying it. Sara Blakely spoke about her why. And her why is the privilege of being a woman born at the right time in the right country. Because she knows she has privileges that many women around the world do not. And many women have not had in the previous lifetime. And she said, when you know a why, and when your why is bigger than yourself, it shrinks your doubt. When something is bigger than you, it shrinks your self-doubt. She said, do something you care about. When you do something that you care about that is bigger than you, it shrinks your self-doubt. And how you do that, how you find something you care about, Ask yourself, what makes you cry? And it's usually that. Tony came back to the stage and spoke about the 3 things that you need to succeed in business. He used it by explaining about a shoe company in the 2000s. Now in the 2000s, there was this hype that there was going to be an internet crash, that things were going to go down. In the 2000s, we didn't really use the internet that much for online shopping. But this shoe company had the idea that they were going to sell shoes to women online. Now they were going bankrupt. So they brought someone in, and that man said, it's good you know who your ideal client is. You know your ideal client is women. Women who love shoes. What woman doesn't really love shoes? And 2, the thing you're going wrong with is you need an irresistible offer. No person wants to buy something, pay for the shipping, not want it and have to pay for the shipping back. They're losing out money. Why would they buy these shoes? What you need to do is you need to say, take as many shoes as you want, we will pay for the shipping, and if you do not like them, here's even better. We will pay for you to ship them back to us. And the people in the business were like, whoa, no way, we will go bankrupt, like that, we'll lose money. And the guy was like, well, you're losing money anyway, so you might as well try. They tried, and well, what do you know? It worked. So the 3 rules in business, the first 2 rules I've already said. The one is know your ideal client. 2, an irresistible offer. Now, Tony said the third key to succeed in business is to go above and beyond what is expected. Outdo everyone else. The second guest was Kern Lima. She was a founder of IT Cosmetics, and she is just such a lovely, warm person. Like, you can just feel it through the screen when she's talking. She spoke a lot about believing in herself and how self-doubt is the #1 killer of all dreams. How she always used to doubt herself. She was never enough. She was never this. She was never that. Like, self-doubt just ruled her life until one time she went to a UPW, which is Tony's Unleash the Power Within event, and things just changed for her. Jamie said, where we've come from doesn't have to dictate where we are going. She sat in that UPW and thought maybe her dreams, maybe her hopes, maybe they all can come true. Imagine all the amazing things people could do if they just turned down the volume on self-doubt and turned up the volume on self-belief. Imagine the books that would be written, the courses that would be created, like the good that would be done in the world. She asked us the question, what would you do if you knew fear and rejection could not stop you? I want to ask you that question. What would you do if you knew fear and rejection were not a thing? That they could not stop you? What would you do? When you change your relationship to fear and rejection, your whole world changes. And this was what her whole talk was about. How she changed her relationship to fear and rejection. Because when she did, her whole life changed. She told us the story of how when she was bringing up IT Cosmetics, she was rejected after rejected after rejected after rejected. Like, she even went to this one company with this one man, I can't remember what company it was, but they're very high up in the cosmetics industry, and was like, I want to sell this is how good it is. And the man turned around to her and said no, and she said, honestly, please just tell me why no? Like, just, and he was like, do you want the honest truth? And she was like, yes. And he said to her, I just don't think women will want to buy makeup from someone who looks like you with your weight. And she said she just got this gut feeling. And the gut feeling was, you're wrong. She said she had Googled all the people that she aspires to be, all the people that inspire her. She realized that all the people she found inspiring, they had just failed 1 million more times than everyone else. They had failed 1 million more times than everyone else. They were successful, more successful than everyone else because they had failed more than everyone else. And they had failed more than everyone else because they had tried more than everyone else. And she was going to be that person. She was changing her fear into faith. She changed her relationship with fear and rejection by saying, that guy did not see my value because our destinies were not meant to be aligned. She used her faith to help her change her relationship with her fear. Her saying was, rejection is God's protection. Now that was just her way of changing her relationship to rejection and failure. You need to find a new story, a new relationship with failure. She then went on to create an amazing business, speak to amazing people, do amazing things, write incredible books. And every time that story crops up, she tells herself, no, I am the one that tries. I am one of the ones that try. I am one of those people. I am one of the ones that try. That is me. I try. It doesn't matter what happens, I try. And after she sold her business for 1 point whatever billion or however much it was to L'Oreal, I think it is, she got a text from that man who said, I don't think people will want to buy makeup from you. And he said something along the lines of, I was wrong. And she said, I love this. Have you ever watched the film Pretty Woman? There's a part in Pretty Woman where Vivian goes into a store where people wouldn't have helped her, and she was like, big mistake, big, huge mistake. And she really wanted to do that to him, but she was graceful, she didn't. But yeah, she changed her story. She changed her relationship to fear and rejection. She was the one that tries. And when other people don't see her value, it's because their paths are not meant to be aligned. It does not mean there is no value within her. She is not valued. It just means they did not see it because for some godly or universe or whatever you believe in reason, it was just not meant to be. That universe was protecting her. God or whatever you believe in was protecting her. Tony came back on to explain about a little bit of a recap of the last couple of days and today, and just explain that tomorrow is going to be all about relationships. He gave us the homework. Our homework was write where you are now in business, where you want to be, write down that too. And then the third thing is, what do you need to do now? What do you need to do now? So I challenge you to do that too. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. Like, comment in the comments, tell me what your favorite takeaway was, or if you found any value from this. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you check out the other videos, and for the other challenges, I've done videos like this too, which you might find helpful. So thank you so much. Peace, I love you, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.